Today on the Bob Dodd Show, my friend Kip stops by. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met. He's a very talented mechanic and interesting human being. We talk about his new job, the movie industry, riding motorcycles, and many other things. It makes me happy to call him a friend. Everybody, I would like to introduce you to my friend, Kip. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for stopping by the Bob Dodd Show. Today, I have a friend from the film industry, Kip. Stanfill, correct?
Right.
I am very impressed with just the whole production when it comes to picture cars. And I had a chance to do picture cars on a show called Tales of the Walking Dead. And this is where I got to meet you. And so many times where I would basically come pick up some cars to drop them off at the set. Something wasn't going right. Something wasn't working right. And you were always the hero that fixed it and made it good for me so I could take it off and put it in the show. I have many stories of Tales of the Walking Dead. And one of them was, I was going to Buford, Georgia, and taking some cars there. And it was like 30 cars in one day. It was basically I got peeled, and driving to where I was picking the cars up to where I was dropping the cars off. It was basically like a 19-hour day. And after that day, we filmed at the location. And when I was returning cars, my boss was like, "Hey, this is wrong, and this is wrong," and telling me all these things that were wrong. And I was like, no idea. That like, oh man, I don't know if I did that or not. And it's like kind of like a nice feeling when you go to the place where you rented the cars, and they're like, "Oh, nothing was wrong, everything's okay." And it's you were one of the alleviating stressors or whatever. Not you helped me alleviate the stress. Like, "Oh, things are going to work out real good. Don't worry about it." I was like, "All right, good, man. That's great." And you did that for me. So thank you very much. My stories are long winded.
You're fine.
Yeah. I'm brand new at the podcasting thing. And what I'm trying to do is bring on folks here that are extremely interesting and, have something to do with my life or cross paths with me. And you crossed my path, man. And you are a bright star to me. So we have a common friend, Jason. He moved to Montana. We last saw each other when we were helping him load.
Right.
Dude, you're a beast moving all that furniture. I tried picking up furniture and I'm crying like a little girl. And my friend Paul was with us, and Kip came in and once again, like the Superman, rescued, picked up all the heavy furniture and put it in the truck. That was a good time. We were very sad to see Jason go.
Gonna miss that guy, yes.
Yeah. How long have you known Jason?
I met him in the film industry.
Yeah.
And, I'd say probably 6 to 8 years, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And he was working on what show? Was that Ozark, or was that?
He was on Ozark, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
He was on BMF, I think.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. 'Cause that's where I met Jason. I met him on Ozark.
Ozark, yeah.
Yeah, and he was the picture car captain, I think, or I don't know if he was a driver or what his label was, but he was the main guy, like basically running the show there while the other boss man was away doing stuff. But yeah, the fact is that when we're doing picture car stuff, we never know what we really need, and we're hoping that the picture car company that we rent cars from has something that would fit the bill, whether if you're trying to design basically a look or an atmosphere. How do you go about helping people when you were in the picture car industry of picking out cars and doing stuff like that?
They would tell me what they need, basically, and I would walk the lot, taking pictures and sending them to them. I had good relationships with most of the picture car coordinators.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, people would ask me what show they're on or what show I'm working on. I'd know the name of the picture car coordinator, but I wouldn't have no idea what show it was,
That's funny.
I mean, it was just so busy.
Yeah. Plus, like, another thing, too, you're working on 20 different shows at once where the coordinators may be working on one or two.
It used to be, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it fizzled out, as well as I do.
Yeah. Being that, when was the last time you worked in the film industry?
I left there in March of this year.
March of this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So just like Jason said, you know, he's going to try to do something else. You had that mindset a couple months earlier.
Well, I have been laid off a few times.
Yeah.
And he was talking laying off again, and he mentioned to me that if I could find something else,
go ahead and do it,
that you might want to do it.
Yeah.
So that night I went home and got on my phone, and to be honest with you, I typed in race shop.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do something that I wanted, you know, that I'm passionate about. And I'm very passionate about Corvettes.
Yeah.
I own a few of them myself, and a job popped up on ZipRecruiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that work out for you, ZipRecruiter?
That's where I found it.
Okay. I'm on ZipRecruiter for other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it shopped, you know, they were shopping for a mechanic and I was shopping for a job, and
yeah,
I have to drive 46 miles into Atlanta every day, but
but it's a cool shop though, right?
Man, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
The job and what I do now. I mean, work on mostly Corvettes,
mm-hmm.
you know. And
are you doing vintage Corvettes, or are you doing all of them?
All of them.
Wow.
We had we had a C8 come in the other day,
mm-hmm.
and the car had 7,000 miles on it, and the guy wanted some protection, you know, for the radiator, so he bought these little grills,
mm-hmm.
and they handed me the job, you know.
Yeah.
And asked me if I wanted to do it. I said, man, that's one thing. I'm not afraid, you know, of any of them.
Yeah. So. Well, you're definitely a hands-on, like almost an engineer when you're putting stuff together. I've seen some of the work that you had to do just to make a car viable for, you know, 2-3 days. I mean, for folks that don't know, like when you are working under the pressure that you used to work under, that really, it amplifies your skills quickly, and you learn what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
So I'm sure that's extremely useful for your new position and where you're at.
Well, where I'm at now, the pressure, I mean, there was a whole lot of weight lifted off my shoulder.
Oh, wow. That's good.
There's no pressure.
No pressure.
Compared to what I'm used to, there's no pressure. And, you know, the guy, just yesterday, the owner came to me and he said, you single-handedly bailed us out on a few cars that have been there for a few years, actually.
Yeah.
And nobody just, you know, nobody wants to touch them. But
you know what I'm thinking? Like, so here's the thing. So they were very fortunate, you know, to be able to catch you, right? Like, it's because of like the lull in film work, you decided that you needed to step out and maybe find something else.
Right.
And here, the company that actually picked you up, you were able to alleviate a lot of their stress and a lot of their pain. I think there's a common denominator here where you're alleviating people's pain. Like, I mean, you help me out so much. You're helping them out so much. You're a great dude. I'm so happy that you found something that you really like. The Corvette shop that you're working, are you allowed to say the name of it? Buy a Vet?
Yes.
So shout out to Buy a Vet out there. I think that you landed an awesome dude. I mean, your skill level from older vets to newer vets, I don't know who else has that kind of knowledge. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of folks out there that have that knowledge, but that are performing it every day, like in shops like that. They're enthusiasts have that knowledge, not mechanics. You know, mechanics is a tough job. I don't know for all the mechanics out there that are living their life working for Honda or whatever big box shop,
mm-hmm.
you know, getting paid what you get paid and having that $120,000, you know, toolbox bill that comes in every other month that you have to pay for, and all the tests that you guys have to do to stay certified and things like that. You guys are unsung heroes. And, you know, I appreciate you guys out there because it's not easy. My mom says I talk too much. So, but tell me more about Buy a Vet, man. Like, so you landed this job, and, you know, what are some of the big jobs besides the vents and stuff that you knocked out for them and got it going?
One of them's a 72 convertible Chevelle. It's had a LS conversion. It's got a Tremec 6-speed transmission in it. And, the mechanic that was working on it, he left them.
Oh,
And just, he. Of course, there's a few parts that needed to be ordered, but put aftermarket Dakota gauges in it, and I didn't have to get it running. All I had to do to get it running was hook the battery up and turn the key. Just to be honest with you, the car purrs like a kitten. But just putting the interior back in it, and nobody wants to touch it because they didn't take it apart. I reckon,
Yeah. Well, it takes a skilled surgeon to revamp something that is one thing I noticed that people don't like touching computers, touching automobiles, motorcycles after somebody else is foiled with it.
Right.
It puts a lot of liability on you because, although, whoever the other mechanic was has left and he's not there anymore and something goes wrong, you're like the last face. So they're like, how did this happen?
Right.
And then you then have to be on like it was like that before I got here. And then there's like a lot of justification things happening. So you get put in positions that you don't mean to be put in, but it happens.
There's a 71 Corvette that's been there over a year, and they told me it needed a motor. Mm-hmm. This car is beautiful. I mean, it was I just looked at it and I wondered why it needed a motor.
Yeah.
And they asked me if I wanted to look at it, and I said, yeah. So about 30 minutes into it, I had it running, and the car didn't need a motor.
Yeah.
I don't know why they said it needed a motor. I guess they just wanted to, maybe get the hours. I don't know.
Yeah.
What it was. But.
Well, maybe they just had a bad diagnostic review with a technician, like people have to, I like watching YouTube mechanics basically step by step kind of cancel things out. And some are smarter than others, or some are like, I don't want to say smarter, but some have, a reason to suspect something, and then they check it and they look at the little computer and they say, oh, I see these things are faulting. Well, why are the reasons why these things fault? So then they look at it systematically. And I think that's kind of like what you do. You might do it faster than other folks without computers from what I've seen. But, when you have a diagnostic check, I mean, for starters, even if it's an old vehicle, maybe not as old as like 70s or maybe early 80s, but when you're dealing with any vehicle with a computer, you have something telling you something. Yes. So that's like what you kind of go for. Your diagnostic, unless you got that like what do they call it? The stethoscope out, and you're like looking here for nicks and ticks and whatever vibrations.
I still use one of those.
Yeah. I bet you would.
Even on the new vehicles,
Yeah. What's the most common problem you run through with a vet? Like, what besides, I don't know, being old age and neglect?
Well, the biggest problem, like it depends on what generation you're talking about, but
yeah, it is like kind of wide.
Yeah. Older vets mostly is just sitting is the biggest problem because people don't drive them.
Yeah.
I had a 66 427 4-speed car come in last month. Been sitting for 10 years, but there was nothing wrong with the car hardly. It didn't take long to get it running, and he's just decided he's going to sell it. But we've had a few of them, 66, 65, been sitting for years, same scenario. They're wanting to sell them.
Yeah.
Just bring them in to get them running. But the C5s, the biggest problem with them would probably be the harmonic balancer, believe it or not.
Okay, I've heard that before on vets.
To do a harmonic balancer, you have to drop the entire front suspension out from under the car.
Wow. Yeah, big project, a lot of work, a lot of hours.
Big. Believe it or not, it pays 6 hours.
That's it?
Mm-hmm. But you can, once you've done one, you can do it in about 3 hours.
Okay. No, yeah. One of my YouTubers that I watch had replaced one of those, and I think it took him a lot. Maybe because he's a YouTuber, it took him a lot longer for that. It seemed like a big job.
Well, if it's not on a lift too, that probably has
that
take a little longer.
He had a lift.
Did he?
Yeah, he had a lift. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, like that's the thing that impresses me about someone that works in the automotive industry is, you look at engines a lot differently than I look at them. I don't know what I'm hearing or seeing or smelling or even tasting like with it.
Right.
You know, you can smell something and say, oh, sounds like smells like this, it smells like that, or sounds like this, it sounds like that. Where a lot of people will just wash their hands of a car and say, this is just too much for me.
Right.
I mean, I do that with motorcycles. I'll get a project and, you know, if it becomes too much, because I'm not a renter by any means, but if I can't get it started and I don't have the money to get it started, I got to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you figure it out. You know where to start, when to stop. To me, that's amazing. It's very impressive. You know, most people don't know where to even start, like me. So we're like systematically, when you're dealing with any vehicle, like they say, what, fuel, spark, and air, that's where you start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you have all three things and things are not starting, where do you go from there? Is it like timing? Where do you check next?
Well, it depends on the vehicle, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like you say, you got compression,
Mm-hmm.
you got fuel, and you have air. It should run.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of times it's stagnated fuel. It won't run. You know, just because the fuel's been sitting for so long, and it won't. It's not volatile enough to fire.
Yeah.
You know,
because I watch a lot of YouTube car shows. Some of the car shows are local here to Georgia. You know, like Finnegan's Garage and like Roadkill and all those guys.
Right.
And I always have a big kick out of like seeing them pick some car, you know, for their episode, whatever it might be. And, you know, they get it running and, you know, what's his name? Derek from Vice Grip Garage. You know, he humorous, very good shows. If you haven't checked these shows out, you got to check these shows out. They're just really, really good. I'm sad that Motor Trend is changed the way it does its content or platform, or if it's even around anymore. But you could still watch, you know, David Freiberger, Finnegan, you know, Fred from off road every day or dirt every day. Sorry, and these guys, they take cars that have been sitting a really long time. They'll get them to start.
Right.
And it's amazing that a lot of times they are successful, you know, and there's editing obviously, but they're not putting this on. Like when you look at that kind of a thing, what's your take on that? You ever think about doing something like that?
I've thought about it. Yeah. I actually know one of them personally, David Newbern. He's a good guy. You know, he lives in Bremen, Georgia. Mm-hmm. But you know, I've actually had friends trying to get me to do a YouTube channel. You know,
let's do it. I have cameras. I'll film it for you. You know, we'll get you up, lifted off the ground, and then you can take it wherever you want to take it.
Well, you know Keith Collis, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's tried to talk me into it. You know, he said, I've got the guys to do it. You know.
Yeah. What's preventing you? No, you do. You have the personality for it. This is a man that is definitely one of the nicest people that I know in the film industry. Well, and, you know, I think that with your expertise, you know, like, I don't think you have to worry about being funny. I don't think you have to worry about showing anything up. I think you just being you, people will watch it. I mean, I think so. You don't have to be something that you're not. Right. You know, because you already are something. I mean, think about it. Look at all the cool things that you have at your house. Yeah. All the different cars that you have. I mean, how many vets do you have?
There's 4 at the house. Mm-hmm. There's 4 C3s at the house. One of them belongs to a friend of mine that I went to school with. And I got back acquainted with him because he owns the original Batmobile.
Oh, wow.
A replica of it. And I've got my uncle's. He's got a 75 convertible. It's been sitting for 30 years. Mm-hmm. And I have my personal one, which is a 69 427 tri-power car, meaning it has 3 carburetors from the factory. And then I'm in partnership with another one. I got a 68 coupe there. It's a 427 4-speed car.
Sounds like you have enough content for a couple different episodes.
Well, The plan is putting a building up on the property.
Okay.
And once I do that, then that might be something that I do on the side.
Okay. Well, I think you should, because I think that probably would pay for your building. I think like recording the actual process of you getting it built as well would be interesting, because I think a lot of people that are watching YouTube right now follow from all walks of life, all backgrounds.
Right.
And I know that construction videos, as far as building, like garage videos, purpose-built garage videos, they do very, very well. I know that analytics are showing that they do well, you know.
You saw where the Smoking the Bandit trailer's sitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where the building's supposed to be.
Okay.
And the trailer's just going to be my storage, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I was going to bring a lean-to off the building and cover it. And
that sounds awesome.
Well, that's the plan.
That's,
I wouldn't be against, doing a
yeah. How did you acquire the Smokey and the Bandit trailer? Tell me the story. I mean, because you have a lot of stories, and I don't want to be a fisherman of stories, so send them out to me as you think of them.
Well, Newbern come to the house.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to see the trailer, I think, is the main reason he came. So he filmed it, and he put it out there. And
Here, put that mic a little closer to you.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
People,
you remember, you could bring this thing if you want to lean back.
I'm sorry.
You can touch it and hit it, whatever you need to do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But, he had he posted it on YouTube, and a lot of people thought it was the original one, which the original one was done in watercolor, so it don't even exist. It it washed off. This thing's done. It's a wrap, and they used it in Walking Dead. They had an episode where they found the old Smoking the Bandit trailer, so we had to recreate it. Okay, well, he was just gonna crush it,
man.
And I said something about it. He goes, "You want it?" I said, "Well, yeah, it's yours."
It is funny how people in the film industry do acquire things.
Yes.
Sometimes they pay an arm and a leg for it. Sometimes it's just handed over.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes you pay 50 cents on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. What other things have you accumulated from the different productions that were cool to keep?
I've got a stock car that we built for Doom Patrol that Brendan Fraser drove.
Okay.
So therefore it has an automatic in it.
Oh.
And I've got it. And I had my wife and we had an 89 IROC, and I sold it to the company.
Mm-hmm.
So it was in Shaft. It was maroon then. Samuel Jackson steps out in front of it off the sidewalk in the movie, and it slides up to him,
Yeah.
And then they used it. We painted it white and gold and used it in BMF. And then the next year they wanted the same car but black.
Yeah.
So it's black now, and I got it back.
Oh, that's cool. I love IROCs. And was that like an 87, 88?
It's an 89.
89?
Yep.
Nice. That's one of the things that whenever I'd go pick up cars for the show that I was working on, there was Kip inside the shop, doing whatever he's doing, a lot of miracle works. And then I would walk by this hearse that was wrapped in gold.
Right.
What was the story with that hearse that was wrapped in gold? I wish I had photos of it. People would love it.
Believe it or not, that's the same hearse that they used in Dumb and Dumber 2.
Is that right?
It was black.
Oh, man.
Well, they needed a hearse for P-Valley.
Wow.
So we had it wrapped in the gold, which was $15,000 to have it wrapped.
It was striking.
Yes. And bought the wheels, the gold wire wheels that we put on it. And had that wild interior put in it. I know you saw that.
Yeah, I wish we had photos of it. Can they see it on P-Valley?
I've got photos of it.
Okay.
But he sold it recently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He sold it for $10,000.
Oh, man.
The guy that bought it, I think the guy that bought it owns strip clubs.
Oh, okay.
And I think one of his strip clubs was actually filmed.
Okay, used for the P-Valley.
Yes, and therefore he wanted it sitting outside of one of his strip clubs. But
yeah, that's got to be a calling card there. That's pretty cool. I mean, for the strip club. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, go check out that strip club. And if you find out what strip club it is, comment down below where it's at.
It's not. It's in another state. But I met the guy. He came to the shop, and you wouldn't know that he owned a strip club. Unless he told you, because he's just seemed like a great guy,
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, nice people can still have dirty jobs, Jeez. But people do all sorts of things. And I've learned to not judge people too much.
Right.
There's somebody out there that's going to do that,
Exactly.
I don't have to. And, speaking of, the gold hearse, I mean, there were so many cool cars that you got to be a part of, and so many cool shows that you got to be a part of. I'm sure there's a little bit of like missing the film industry a little bit.
Me?
Yeah. No?
Not after,
really?
Not after acquiring the job that I have now, no. Well, I don't miss it.
Yeah. Once again, shout out to Buy a Vet, man. You're making Kip feel this way. I don't know if you need to hire a Bob Dodd. I'm looking for a good place to land too. But I think that, I mean, with this job that you got going on now, working on all these different Corvettes, I think that maybe Buy a Vet would even have a cool YouTube channel for you to like showcase vehicles on. And there's probably a handful of different talent at the store. People need to know about you, Kip. You're a very special person. I'm serious, dude. Every time I talk to you, every time I'm around you, I feel like I'm with somebody special. Like I feel like all the different conversations that Jason and I had, I'm so happy you said yes to come here. I really am. Like I talked to my wife and we watched, so Kip was in one of those YouTube videos with David Newburn and his friend. What was his friend's name?
Wesley Keys.
Keys.
He has a YouTube channel called Keys Customs.
Yeah, check out Wesley Keys Customs and David Newburn. Those are some really solid, entertaining platforms or shows that are on YouTube. But you could be doing the same thing. I see you doing the same thing. And I don't want to talk you up into trying to convince you to do it, but I see you definitely doing the same thing.
Well, I've had I've had other people tell me the same thing. So.
Yeah, we need to make that happen. So anyhow I can help, we should do that. Now, outside of Corvettes and outside of the film world, you have your own cars. You have your stock car that you told me about. You have the the cool trailer from, the Walking Dead shows and stuff like that. Out of all the pieces that you have, you told me a story before we started here about the car that you were brought home in.
Yes.
When you were born. And I don't know, can you pull it up? We could kind of set it right here, show people. It's such a cool car. No, So Kip almost had me in like tears a little bit because I shared a story with Kip when we were moving Jason's belongings into trucks about a motorcycle that is in my possession. I'm this custodian of. And my father-in-law, Dave, he had this very, very beautiful 2001 Ultra Classic. And when I had my son, Dylan, we would set him on the bike. And Dylan basically Ethan. Sorry. Dylan wants everything now, too. So Ethan doesn't ask for anything anymore, really, but Dylan does. Anyway, Ethan, when Ethan was like a year and a half, he was able to speak full sentences. And one of the sentences that he spoke to me was, "This is my bike," as he was sitting on this Harley Ultra Classic. And it melted my heart to like, I have to acquire this bike whenever Dave is ready to sell it. So I said to Dave, whenever you're ready to sell it, please let me know. Let me get the first crack at it. So Dave knew why I wanted it. So Dave did a real good deal for me. Gave me the bike for Ethan, and I told this story to Kip, and he kind of had a similar story about a car. Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit about the car, because like it's a 1957. Explain it. Yeah.
It's a Ford retractable hardtop.
Yeah. And I think that if we do this, let's see here. And then you can show them how it, let me pull it back to you a little bit. Yeah. But this is the car basically that Kip was brought home in. And the story was very touching. It was making me get that big throat feeling, But yeah, if you can give us the the story. I know you already told me, but give me the story again, because it's an impactful story. It's a lot of people are going to resonate with this.
When I was born in Kennestone Hospital in Marietta, Georgia, and my aunt was in the back of the retract with an 8mm film, 8mm camera filming, and film them bringing me out of the hospital and putting me in that car. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, years later, I had the 8mm film and was watching it and didn't even realize it was that car, the retract. But I skipped forward.
You did. But it's okay, because we could rewind in real life.
Right.
Yeah. So you can start off by letting them know that you were brought home in the car.
Yeah.
And you could tell them about when you were young, what you thought about it.
In 1974, I could tell you another story too about before 74. But in 1974, he put it in the basement, and I told him I wanted it. When I was driving, he said, "The car's yours," and it sat there until 1987. And one day I just decided I was going to get it out, and took all day to get all the garbage off of it and out from behind it just to get it out. And I got it out and got it running, and he told me, don't mess with that top, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he came home one day, and I caught him down in the basement and pulled the button on it, and the top went in the trunk, and he blew a gasket.
In surprise and amazement.
No, he blew a gasket mad because I was messing with it.
Yeah,
because I messed with it.
I can understand.
Because he told me not to, right? But anyway, I had a chance to trade it for a '69 Corvette, and he gave me the permission to do so, and I decided no, I wasn't doing it because of sentimental reasons. And I drove it to a car show at Martin's in Austell, the very first Martin's, and a guy saw it and inquired about it and realized he knew Dad from IBEW. He worked with him, and he came to the house and made an offer on the car, and Dad asked me if I'd sell it, and I said no way. And turned out, a few days later the car was gone. He sold it. But
that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean it was. But me and my dad had a falling out over it for about 4 years, but I forgave him. It was, once I got children, and
you kind of understood now.
I mean, I realized there's only one dad. I only had one dad in this world, and that was material things. And I finally forgave. I gave him my whole story. I mean,
sure.
A line that he said he wished he had recorded it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a child, I mean, like, I know that you were older, you were an adult, right? You were,
yeah. Yes.
You're still able to have these feelings, and, sometimes it doesn't get conveyed to your father in the best of ways. I mean, I deal with it all the time. I always tell people, like, whenever you have a situation, even if it's my own father,
yeah,
I try to look at him as like a kid.
Right.
That way I don't get agitated with it.
Yes.
That works in certain cases. Obviously, people are different, but
ironically, one of my best friends, Anthony Bell, him and his dad paint cars. And they live 5 minutes from me.
Mm-hmm.
And their next door neighbor is a widow.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband has a few cars, had a few cars.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is a 57 black retractable hardtop.
Oh, wow.
And she wants me to have that car.
No way.
So I went and talked to her, and I've actually worked on the car.
Oh, wow.
It's got a modern engine in it with fuel injection on it, and they couldn't get it running. And I worked on it, and the top wasn't working probably about 3 months ago. And I went over there and worked on it and got it working. But I told her my story and brought her pictures of the retract.
Yeah.
My dad's retract. And she wants me to have it. So.
Oh, that's gorgeous, man. Once again, there's an episode. I'm telling you, man, there's a beam of light that's coming from you where like all these things are aligning. Like, that's a great story. Just just as a full circle thing, you know, like, you know, the lady is probably ecstatic to give it to you.
Well, I mean, there's a price, of course, you know, but
Well, we're talking about exchanging. Yeah.
Right,
Money. Yeah, for sure. There's money in everything.
But she said she wasn't going to let it go nowhere, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, I hope that there's I hope there's like an agreeable deal between you and her that you get that, because I want you to have it. You know, I want you to have it. And I think that, you know, as someone who watches YouTube channels about cars and motorcycles all the time, I would love to watch that video.
Yeah.
That handing over. There's a YouTuber called Larry, and his name is Larry. He owns Ammo NYC. It's a detailing YouTube show, but he is a professional detailer through and through, high-end cars. And every once in a while, he'll have a barn find. And sometimes the barn find is in need of lots of restoration. So what he'll do is he'll clean it to the point where it looks beautiful and presentable, but obviously there's going to be a ton of work that needs done.
Right.
And then there's shows where he has those barn finds, and then he does like a preservation detail where the car is in really good shape and there's nothing terrible about the car. They're just, you know, they're going to get it running, but they detail it to preserve it.
Right.
Those kinds of shows have that sentimental feel and vibe throughout the show. And those are always like heartwarming and a lot of views. So I think that you'll do well with that as a show. And I hate being the guy that like keeps telling you to do a show, but like seriously, like with your know-how, people will be interested in hearing your insight and maybe getting little bits of knowledge here and there from you. Seriously, I think that would be a great thing. You know, how many cars does this lady have to get rid of?
Well, I don't think she's going to sell. She sold one of them. She sold a Thunderbird.
Okay.
But I don't think she's going to sell any of the rest of them.
Okay. Is she give the rest to the family, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She has grandsons.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Handing them down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably, you know what, like when she offered to sell you that other car, you know, she probably thought we have enough to give the family a share of, you know, memorabilia and make something. She offered something for you to, yeah. People were great, man. That lady's a nice lady.
Oh, yes, she is.
Yeah. Other than that, what else has been going on since you quit the film industry?
Work.
That's it. That's just about it.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sure there's something in there. I hope that when you build your building, that is it like going to be a big garage where it's like 2-3 car bays, or
I'm looking at a 60 by 40.
That's a huge garage. Okay. So it's a shop.
Yes.
You're building a shop. Okay.
I just want something, you know, large enough to get the vehicles under a roof and a lift.
Yeah.
You know.
A lot of your vehicles sitting outside then right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ben Peck, if you're listening. Or the other car lifts out there. Man, Kip is going to be building a garage. Just hook him up with some lifts so he can fit all his cars into there. We'll do an episode about it. I'll make sure it's produced really, really well. Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, I feel like I did the picture car show thing for 2 shows, and I haven't really tried to do it ever again. It's a pretty demanding job for the folks that are out there doing picture car stuff. Pretty demanding, a lot of pressure on you. I feel like just driving truck for the grips or for the electrics or just whoever.
Right.
It's just a lot nicer, less stress. And I think that's the route that I'll be sticking with for the rest of my Teamster career anyway.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you a bit.
Yeah. I hear so much about the film industry. Have you been keeping tabs with anybody in the film industry at all?
Just Robin.
Yeah.
You know Robin.
I never met Robin, but I know of Robin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I speak with her pretty much on a weekly basis, but
Okay.
but they still,
Yeah.
they're still selling vehicles,
Yeah.
and they're not doing the industry hadn't come back yet.
I don't know if it's going to come back anytime soon. I think that Trump, with his tariff against the films that are coming in from overseas, it's not implemented yet. I don't know what it's going to look like if it does get implemented. And I wonder if that's actually going to bring films back or not, because wherever they set up production is where the film is going to be from.
Right.
So if they set up production here in California and then send a crew out there to film, and wherever they go, is that film, I don't know, an Australian film, a London film, or is that a United States film who's filming in that area?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work.
I was told cinema vehicles in California had shut down,
Oh, wow.
but they're here as well.
I was about to say, what was the guy's name? Mike or John?
Ron Serban.
Well, he's the head guy, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. There was when I would go there to pick up cars, there was a kid that helped.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember his name. He was like one of you, he was like the guy that would get the car going if I couldn't get it started or whatever. Right. Ron was always behind the desk and signing the paperwork, I think.
Right.
Trying to remember, yeah. So I wonder if he's working there still, because they had tons of cars there.
Yeah.
Man.
But I know they're,
hurting.
Yes. Just like everybody, in the industry, from what I'm told.
Yeah. I feel like people are going to be, it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets any better.
Right.
Yeah. For the industry here, the film industry. So, yeah, I just don't know what to think about all this anyway. Cause I had been in the film industry for, so many years now. I really thought that I was going to be retiring from this industry.
Yes.
And, I should have seen, I don't want to say red flags, but I should have seen some different patterns that was happening, especially when it came to streaming and things like that. I feel that there was this false sense of more work was going to come. And then COVID happened and it kind of threw everybody off a little bit.
Well, it came back pretty strong after COVID.
Yeah.
But
that wasn't normal.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
But, you're being told that it is coming back. It's coming back strong. And then the next thing you know, the show that, was going to bring us back canceled.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a couple shows on that I thought I would be going on.
Right.
That moved overseas. Yeah. And that was kind of, some bummer news, you thinking, oh man, I definitely have a gig. I got with a particular person that wants me to be around. And then, even though they're the main person, they're like, hey, I'm sorry that, the production, the studio is not paying for even my own team to come with me to come do this show over where we're going. I'm sorry. And we can't take you. It's oh no, I totally get it, man. You're not the one calling the shots.
Right.
If you could get me to be there, I would be there. So no harm, no foul. And you just sit there and say, I'll be here ready for you when you come back. And then all of a sudden, I think, August 9th, 2024 was the last movie that I was on.
Wow.
So it's been a while.
What was that?
Superman. So, yeah. So,
see.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you said that, I saw that.
Yeah, I got some movie memorabilia behind me. But, yeah, so it's my wife and I, we just sit there and we theorize a lot of different things. What are you going to do? Well, I try to run heavy machinery for the operator engineer union that's local to where I am. But I'm not a full-fledged member yet. So they don't afford me jobs the way they do members, because I'm kind of just on an overhire list.
Right.
So I'm not getting jobs with them. I'm not getting jobs with my Teamster union right now, just due to the fact of lack of work. And they're are people higher on the list. Were you on the Teamsters list when you were working because you were a company guy for the
right
for the company. That's
Yes.
right. Yeah, so you never had to deal with that.
No.
Yeah, I'm low on the list, boy. I tell you, it's I don't know when I'm going to get called, if I'm ever going to get called, and I don't care who you know or who you don't know or whatever. But when the union gives basically hiring rules, you got to follow those hiring rules.
I was offered a job, with the industry more than once as far as the Teamster deal, but
everybody would love to have you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, be glad you didn't do it, because
I am.
Yeah.
Just to be honest, I am.
Yeah. I still feel like it's something I want to do. I really love, 2009 was the time that I knew that I wanted to be a Teamster.
Right.
And it took me a really long time to get there. I tried doing it in Pittsburgh. I got on their overhire list, but I never got called. And then when I came to Georgia, I had to wait for the list to open, and it took a long time. I came in 2017, and then it opened up in 2021. So it took 4 years for it to open up.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. As soon as I land it, first year and a half, 2 years were great and very promising.
Mm-hmm.
But since all the writer strike and everything, it's out of the Teamsters' hand. It's out of the union's hands what the industry is doing. So, so far I feel like they've, provided enough information to me to make a decision on what I want to do with my life. But at the same time, it's like, that's a hard decision to make. Do I stay or do I go?
Mm-hmm.
I decided to stay. So we're going to do some odd jobs until the shows pick back up. I have belief in the film industry. I'm not thinking it's totally dead yet.
Right.
But who knows? We'll see what happens,
Well, as far as you're concerned, I hope not. I hope it does come back.
Yeah. It might. Who knows? I mean, it might, because people die out or they finally have to go get a real job and step off the list. I've been living the movie life since 2007, so I kind of have an idea of what the roller coaster is.
Yeah.
It's and coming from Pittsburgh too, it's like that roller coaster is not predictable, but you have the ability to navigate it. What really threw the wrench in it was like the COVID time and then the writer strike. Those two events, I know they weren't exactly back to back, but those two events so close to one another, it really shook the industry hard, and everyone in the industry is feeling it, and people outside of the industry, pizza places, hotels. I mean, everybody is really affected by it. So, and look what the picture car companies that are doing that are local here.
Mm-hmm.
They're slowing down too, selling off cars.
Yes.
Might be a time to buy a good truck. Kip, I bought a 1995 F-250 off of a gentleman about 2 hours south of here. And I thought it was going to be the last truck I bought, because I knew I was going to be selling my new Ford F-250 that I had, the newer one. And I was like, I'm buying myself an old truck that doesn't have many computers. So I bought a 95. I loved it. It was really, really good. And I didn't know when I was going to have a job. So basically, my wife and I decided we'll put both trucks up for sale. And, if people want these trucks, we'll put a high price on them.
Right.
So if they want them, they'll buy them. That way we know we got a good price for them. And if they don't want to buy it at that price, we'll keep it. Both trucks sold in 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, I guess it wasn't a high enough price.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
So, but the newer truck we did not make money on, but the older truck I made a couple bucks on, not much.
Right.
And definitely came out ahead on the older truck. But I really feel like I missed out, because the truck that I found was so clean and so nice. It's probably the nicest one in Georgia for the price that I sold it for at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, it had 149,000 miles on it. It was clean. I have pictures of it. I'll show you later.
Yeah.
But it was super, super clean. and I sold it. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I should have never done that.
Diesel?
No diesel.
Oh.
It had the 7.5.
Wow.
Yeah. I like the diesel trucks. However, I'm the 7. I'll buy the 7.5 before I'd buy Power Stroke.
Yeah.
That's just me. More people work on it. I can work on it myself. The diesel, who knows? It's probably easy too for you, but
I'd a whole lot rather have the gas burner myself.
Yeah. So it was 7.5. It was a 460, and had the 4 EOD transmission on it, automatic. Strong truck. I'm looking to get into that again. I don't care if it's pretty or not. If you know anybody that's out, selling something for a decent price, we're looking for it so I can pull my little dump trailer and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you saw my truck.
I love your truck. Yeah, I like that truck a lot.
430,000 miles.
No
on
way.
The original engine.
Wow. On a GMC.
And it's a Chevrolet, but it's
same thing, right?
454, yeah.
Excuse me. I don't mean to say it's the same thing for the Chevrolet guys out there and the snobby GMC owners. Oh, that's a nice truck, though.
That's Bertha.
Yeah.
My wife named it because it had a fat butt,
Yeah, dually.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
Quad cab dually.
Yep. She named it Bertha.
That's another thing too. Like my truck was 4-wheel drive, and I noticed that the 2-wheel drive, you can pretty much find any early truck 2-wheel drive. Yeah. I really want a 4-wheel drive truck just because the last 2 times I went to the dump, I needed the 4-wheel drive because every summer we have trees fall, and you're cutting up 2-3 trees every summer, putting it into the dump truck, taking it to the dump, paying your $35 or $37, whatever it is for the tree debris, and stuff's not super light, and you get stuck trying to drive out of where they want you to dump it. They've done a pretty good job though of making the backup road pretty good. But yeah, I'm looking for a 4-wheel drive 90s. It could be a 91, could be maybe even 89 dually, whatever.
Okay.
4-wheel drive, Yeah, if you know anybody. Right. You come into cars all the time, don't you? People, all my mechanic friends somehow find like, oh, this lady gave it to me. It's like, really? They gave, like, my buddy Pete's mechanic. People give him cars just because they want it out of their yard.
The C30?
Yeah.
In my backyard?
Yeah.
I had a shop, in Douglasville.
Yeah.
And, the lady that owned it, her sons would come, and the only time they use it was to haul garbage with, of course. But every time they'd drive it, it would have to be towed to my shop. So she called and asked me one day if I wanted it, and I said, sure. I said, what do you want for it? And she said, I don't want anything for it. I said, I ain't doing that. She goes, well, you ain't getting it then. And I said, well, okay. Anyway, and I think that was 2008. And I've done nothing to the truck but drive it.
Wow. There you go.
I mean, it's been in, it's been in a few films.
Yeah.
My wife and I was on a cruise, and the last night of the cruise, we decided we're going to go watch the movie, on the mezzanine, I think it's called, the mezzanine deck.
Yeah.
But anyway, the movie was Spider-Man Homecoming, and my truck was in it. So we're out in the middle of the Caribbean. I see my truck on the screen. I thought that was pretty cool.
Heck yeah, that's cool. That's real cool. Oh, man. See, you get cool stories like that. You get cool things that you can do like that, My kid has a big love for that truck. When he saw it, he was like, Dad, look. And I'm like, look at what? Look at the truck.
That's Mater.
Yeah, that's Mater?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't have names for all of them, but she named one of them. I named the dump truck. I think that's about the only ones that have names still.
Well, that's okay. You don't have to name everything. I know I received that motorcycle, and it has a name. They call it Julie.
Which
the
one?
Black Honda? Harley. The Black Harley.
Okay.
I don't have a name for any of the motorcycles really. Should I name them? I don't know. I've had all the motorcycles for a few years now. I don't know.
My buddy Anthony, he names every one of his. him and his kids and wife. Anthony Bell, you need to meet him. Him and his family, they're good people. But they do the restoration stuff at their house.
Okay. Do they have like some people when they do the restoration, do they do like full restoration as far as like sourcing all the original parts, try to do like original number or like
they have, I don't know how much of that they do now, but they've done NCRS restorations on Corvettes. You know, back in the day.
Yeah. Because that's tough. Like that's a lot different than just cleaning a car up, making sure the body's straight and the paint's good.
Finnegan's wife's El Camino.
Yes.
Anthony painted it.
No way.
And he was on the
silver? The silver?
I think it's the blue.
Is it bluish? So
I think it is.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, it's blue.
It's blue. It's blue. You're right.
And, he was on Roadkill.
Man.
Right over there by the house. Five minutes from my house.
Yeah, man. That's cool. That's
you need
real
to come
cool.
to the house.
Yeah, I'd love to come. Yeah, just let me know whenever you're available.
Fish.
Yeah, I'll bring them. I don't think they'll get much fishing done looking at that race car. They'll see the race car. They'll see the truck. They'll see all the cars. And I'm sure an hour and a half, 2 hours will be spent looking at that. And then he'll probably another 3 hours telling you all the different mods he would do to that truck if he had that truck.
And that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, we should do that. I'd love that. Bring our fishing poles. You have a beautiful property.
Thank you.
Very, very beautiful property. When you guys found that property, did you find that like in the 80s, 90s? How long have you lived there?
2012.
2012.
Yes. We lost my dad in 2009.
Oh.
And my mom come to live with us. And so we moved into a bigger home, which was over 15 minutes from where I'm at now. And a buddy of mine, Douglas Whitaker, I was fixing to sign the paperwork on this. It was an old farmhouse, 160 years old.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, you might want to wait a minute before you do that. And he takes me over and shows me that place.
Wow.
And I was like, that's exactly the words that came out of my mouth was wow. And,
Yeah, for the folks who don't, or for the folks who aren't going to see the house, I mean, it's just a beautiful estate in the middle of the woods, with some river behind it.
Yeah, Dog River.
And, without naming any names or locations or anything like that, it's a very gorgeous, gorgeous house. And it would be anyone's dream house, that's for sure. Because I think that having water right off the property on the hillside like that is amazing. Oh, the black pickup truck, the dump truck that's in the back of the property.
Yes.
That was in that video.
Yes.
Oh yeah. My son was like, look at that.
That's the one that's in Homecoming.
Yeah. Dude,
Spider-Man Homecoming.
He loves that truck. He loves that truck. He was like, that's the kind of truck we should get. I'm like, I don't know how to work on stuff, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I bet I could work on older trucks. With that Ford, I replaced like the starter solenoid because I didn't know why my truck wasn't starting right. So I replaced the key switch, the starter solenoid, and like some of the wires and stuff like that. Thanks, Paul, for helping me out there. My neighbor Paul helped me. But I realized like, oh yeah, that 460, I might not be able to do internal stuff, but bolt-on stuff,
right?
I could do that all day long on that truck. And that's why I really, really like the 7.5 460. And kind of why I want to go back to that truck. I feel real silly for letting that other truck go. But my kid loves like stake beds. That's what he wants. He wants like some kind of utility bed type pickup truck.
Right.
Always talking about, Dad, we need to get an F550, an F650. Why do you think that? Why do you think that, bud? It's because we need it. It's like, I don't know if we need it.
Well, we need to hook him up with Matthew.
Yeah.
You remember Matthew from the shop?
Mm-hmm.
He loves the flatbeds, the Dodges.
Yeah.
So he probably could come up with something.
We had one of his Dodges on that Tales of the Walking Dead, the blue one.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a great truck. I like that truck. Man. Speaking vehicles, motorcycles. Something I'm really passionate about is motorcycles. Mm-hmm. You told me that you're going to be picking up a new toy. Yeah. Pretty much. Do you have other motorcycles right now?
Vintage.
Yeah.
Vintage dirt bike.
Okay, so I'm going to have to introduce you to Keith, the guy I bought the truck off of. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a day where me and you go meet Keith.
Okay.
He probably has the largest vintage dirt bike collection in the United States.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Keith, I haven't talked to you since I bought the truck, really, but I'm going to send you this podcast and you're going to listen to it and you're going to have Kip come on. Trust me, because you're going to need it. He's an awesome dude. He showed me. So let me tell you the story real quick. So I knew I was selling my new Ford F-250 and I was like, I need a truck to pull my dump truck or my dump trailer. So I'm going to buy an older truck and just get away from that payment, yada, yada, yada. We see this truck and the guy is selling it for, not a complete steal, but it's probably the best deal on the marketplace,
Right.
So I say, I'm going to go look at the truck. We go look at the truck. We come to an agreement on the price and it has some issues with it. The transmission's hitting real hard. So, I'm like just wondering while we're talking, like, is there an issue with the transmission? It's hitting hard, but it reminds me of like my dad's truck when transmission hit hard. You know what? I'm just going to do it and buy the truck. Mm-hmm. So we agree to do the deal. And as we're agreeing to do the deal, I hear a motorcycle in the background come behind us. And I'm like, oh, KLR 650. That sounds awesome. He goes, motorcycles. I said, I know some motorcycles, not all motorcycles, but I love KLR 650s. And I have, a BMW dual sport. He's like, oh, well, hold on one second. He goes into the house. He opens up his garage door and literally just a sea of motorcycles in his garage.
Wow.
And it's a big garage too. Mm. I'm looking at what I see, like this magnificent collection of motorcycles that are being repaired, restored. I mean, all sorts of motorcycles, newer motorcycles, but tons of vintage motorcycles and all of the vintage signery and I'm looking at it like, I want to know this guy a little better. And he's like, come here, I want to show you something. So we're walking through and he's pointing out the different motorcycles. Like, I've been working on this one for 32 years. I've been sourcing parts for that one for 15 years. Like, wow, a lot of work's going into all these motorcycles for him to preserve them. Then he opens up the door to where bikes are covered. And he's like, these are all the finished bikes.
Wow.
Yeah, there was like 15, 20 different motorcycles against this one wall. And they were all like premium, like museum quality. Some of these motorcycles never even been started from the factory with 0 miles on it. He's an awesome dude. You're going to have to meet Keith.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So for vintage motorcycles. And he told me, he goes, anytime you ever, have somebody that needs a part for vintage motorcycles, hit me up. I know I can find it. And I was like, all right, will do. So me and you, we're going to go there.
All right.
Hopefully you need a part and we'll go talk to him and see his motorcycle stuff. But I'm going to see if I can get this to work because you brought something new to my attention that I did not know. And it's a motorcycle that, from Italy. Oh, I gotta write the right password here. And hopefully it's still there. Yeah. Okay. So for the folks, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen, and you're probably hearing our voices and seeing the image. But it's from a company called Beta, 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 and the brand is called Alpha X. It's a dual sport motorcycle. It's a 350.
Yes,
man. And when is yours coming in?
It's supposed to be June.
So it's coming in real close.
Yes.
Now, Do they have other color options here, or
I think it's white and gray.
White and gray?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get the gray or white one?
No, it's not white or gray. It's red or gray.
Red or gray? I'm trying to find it right now.
Yeah, I didn't get the red.
Okay. Yeah. Man. So this is a beautiful looking bike.
It's the are you looking at the one with a round headlight or the futuristic looking headlight?
This is a round headlight.
Yeah, that's it.
So they have another bike too?
They have an Alp and an Alp X.
Okay, I'm looking at the Alp X right now.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, but
then they have the other one. It says, I think it's got a larger front tire and a more modern looking front end.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but company dealers, my beta, contact bikes. Here's bikes. Yeah. Oh, they have a few. They have an Enduro, the MX, the Trial, the Alp, the Motard. Why would you name it Motard? Come on. And then mini bike. Let's see here. The Alp X and the Alp 4.0. Maybe the 4.0 is the futuristic looking thing. Oh, this is like dirt bike style.
Yes.
Moto style. That's pretty sexy too.
They actually have a bike in the motocross.
Do they?
Yeah. It's a small company, but they make awesome bikes.
Yeah. They look it. I mean, the Alp, I have to say, I really like it. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh. And there's the white version of it. Okay. Yeah. So we'll have to meet up and like maybe hit some back roads. I'll jump on my KLX 250 and
definitely.
My KLX is a dog. So I know for sure I'm not going to keep up with you with my fat butt riding on it. But, yeah, man, that looks so nice. The Alp X here. Let's go back to the Alp X, and for the folks that are watching, you can see that on your screen. And if you're not watching, just look up Beta Motorcycles Alp X. Is that a 20-inch rear tire or is that an 18-inch?
I think it's an 18 and a 19 on the one.
19 on the front. So that's good balance.
Yes. And I believe the other one is a 21 and a 18.
Okay. I didn't mean to say 20-inch rear, but yeah.
It's all right, brother.
Yeah. Man, that's cool. I hope I get a chance to ride one of these.
Oh, you will.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he was just on, my buddy Alex. He was interested in getting the Himalaya from Royal Enfield.
Yes.
So we were kind of debating on whether should he spend the money on the Himalaya or there's another Chinese motorcycle company that's doing dual sport motorcycles. And if I can remember what that motorcycle company is, it's I'm not going to remember it right now. But I kind of told him, I said that the motorcycle's doing pretty well. The engine's pretty well, but all the little bits and pieces that's coming from China, like the rear bearings and all,
right,
they're failing.
Yes.
The parts are easy accessible, but I don't know if I would buy that Chinese motorcycle.
Right.
I would probably go for the Himalaya.
Yes.
Well, the dude just came home with a 2022 KLX 650 that's all decked out with all the bars on it, and I'm just like, oh, you went a different direction. Perfect. So we'll have a third person to hit those access roads, and I know we're going to be going riding, I think in like a week or two, just to go test out his 650.
Okay. If
you want, you can jump on the Beamer, and I'll jump on the KLX, and we'll bring it out to you or whatever. And you can jump on it, and we can go for a little ride. Because I love riding motorcycles. A friend of mine, Chris, that was just here, I put him on that KLX to knock the rust off of, because he was like, yeah, I rode motorcycles before. And I was like, oh, well, to knock the rust off, get on the bike. So he got on the bike, kicked all the rust off, and got, familiar with riding a bike again. That was a lot of fun. I love riding. I'm sure going to miss Jason, that's for sure.
He's just hit me up.
Oh, you should tell him you're on the podcast. FaceTime him. Let's get him on. I think there's a way that I can even put him in the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know how to do it though. I'm so new at this. Shout out to YOLO Box Extreme. I'm learning more and more about your video switcher here. I'm not using it for live streaming. I'm using it for recording, but it's working out for me. So thank you. Yeah, I'll shut this. But yeah, that bike is so nice looking. It's such a sexy bike.
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah. I wonder if like it looks like it's going to be a thick bike, not a wide bike, but it's a thick bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can stand flat footed on it, or sit.
Yeah. One of the things I like about those kind of bikes is that wider, thicker bike. It gives you something to hold on to with your calves and your knees.
Right.
I think that the KLX 250 is a little thin, and you kind of like you have to squeeze a little tighter, and it's fatigues you a little more. What's that, dude?
That's what a KTM did to my head.
No way. Oh my gosh. What is that, like 40 stitches?
44 there and 4 here.
Oh my gosh. Tell me the story. What the heck happened to you?
Stupidity.
Okay. That happens to the best of us, but
it was 06, excuse me. It was 05. It was in 06. It was 05 KTM 250 EXC.
Oh man.
And we was riding every weekend, getting back in shape.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine called, wanted to go riding. It was Good Friday 2006. And I'd left I was still open then. I left my shop and went to his house. And a buddy, Dave Sutton, the one that introduced me to the betas. He's a professional rider, and he puts a little rubber cork in the pipe. Right? I said, man, don't put that in there. I'll crank it and foul a plug. Well, I've got 3 helmets in my truck. I've got gear head to toe, turtle shell, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Boots. Well, I kick the bike and it bogs down, and I look back and there's that rubber cork in the pipe. So I, got a little ill, and I sent it out threw that out in the woods and crank the bike and go blow the plug off.
Yeah.
Well, I hit second gear, and it's standing straight up, and I'm headed toward trees,
Oh man.
And I, for some reason, grabbed both brakes, and when the front tire hit the ground, it ejected me, no helmet, and landed on my head, and the chain is what did that.
Oh gosh.
My buddy Jimmy Appleby, my best friend Jimmy Appleby, he was training to be a fireman at the time, and it was at his house, and
oh man,
he's the one that rushed me to the hospital. This whole side was shut down. It wouldn't, just bruised kidney, bruised ribs, knee.
Oh man, I don't want to show that.
No, I wouldn't show that.
Yeah, that's gruesome.
Yeah,
man, I'm sorry you went through that. That sucks.
Like I said, it was stupidity.
Yeah.
For the most part, wear your helmet.
Yeah. My gosh. Yeah. That's a serious photo he just showed me. It's of a wound on his top of his head from the front to the back. 44 stitches. And then how many in the eye?
4. It knocked the lens loose.
Oh man.
And I was legally blind in that eye, and this was about 10 years later.
Oh man.
But it knocked the retina loose, actually. And
oh my.
I have an artificial lens in my left eye.
Wow.
And it also got a tooth.
Dang.
I had an abscess tooth because of it several years later.
Yeah. Dude, thank God, dude. I'm serious.
I agree.
That's a serious injury. I mean, I think that KTMs are responsible. I shouldn't say responsible. KTMs, you hear a lot of, bad wrecks with KTMs because of the torque, I think. I mean, obviously, you're an experienced rider and you still kind of make a mistake,
right?
But there's a lot of accident stories that I know about that were on a KTM.
Really?
Yeah. I feel that people get forgetful of the torque of a KTM, and why there's a cult following for the KTMs because of that torque and that power.
Oh, they're monsters.
Yeah. Where they get up and go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to make a mistake on a bike like that. You know, it's like having a hair trigger, you know, It's like, yeah, I'm so happy you have a pistol that you can fire real quick, nice grouping, but that trigger, you accidentally bump it the wrong way, it could take a toe off, you know, but I don't know if that's a good analogy. It might be stupid on me. I'm showing my ignorance, but you know, that's what I think, you know.
I got what you were saying. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like my KLX is so underpowered. It's a turd. I, you know, have to drop it down into first gear to get up hills. It's a 250cc. Rides like a 125, you know.
2 wheels.
Yeah, it's 2 wheels, still fun. And those little access roads and those single tracks, you know, when people with the 650s are having a hard time picking their bike up, I can just swing my bike up and pick it up. If I need to, I can put it in the back of a pickup truck.
Right.
Yeah.
A bike has always been therapeutic to me ever since I was a kid, you know.
Yeah.
Had braces and they'd tighten them and it would, you know, hurt. When I get on the bike, that pain would go away.
Yeah, you forget about it.
Right.
Man, a lot of people, they need to get on a bike.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's one of those 3-wheel slingshots or whatever, or is that what it's called? The slingshot, not the car version, the motorcycle version.
There is a slingshot. Yeah.
Yeah. They need to get on something just to experience that.
Yeah.
I think that would be, if that was medication for people would be a lot less stressed these days.
Right.
Right.
I concur.
Yeah. Man, you make me want to go ride. Maybe if there's enough daylight for you, we can take the bikes out, go for a little spin. You can get on the Beamer, and I'll get on the Harley. It's been a minute since I laid that Harley down in October, and I had basically tore like 3 different ligaments in my ankle and lifted a muscle. So in my leg. And I've been taking it real easy, not lifting anything, not doing anything. And the first time I started to lift anything was when I was trying to help Jason move. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So my body was feeling it. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, my fat body is so weak right now. I need to get back into something just so I can get my strength back, because I didn't realize how weak I let myself get.
It takes a lot longer to heal than it used to, doesn't it, brother?
Yeah, well, man, I tell you, I'm not used to that. You know, when I was gripping, I was heavy then too, but at the same time, I probably could walk 9-10 miles and not be like hurt.
Right. Now
I walk a mile and I'm like, I can't keep up because I'm just so weak and I haven't really done anything. I'm going to change that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change that. But yeah, holy crap. We should go ride. You down to ride after this for like a half hour?
Yeah.
Take the bikes around the loop, run the gas through. Oh man, that would help me out actually, because it's been so long since I run the bikes. You know what I'm saying? Like just to run the bad fuel, get the old fuel circulating.
Right.
Heck yeah. Well, cool. Well, you know, I'm so excited to have you come by.
Well, thank you.
You know, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more movie talk.
Yeah.
But all my podcasts have been movie talk. And the movie talk I wanted to talk about wasn't necessarily for movies, but it was YouTube related. And it's because I kind of have this like notion to kind of like keep like pushing down, I guess, into your face that you should become a YouTuber. And that was like one of the goals that I wanted to talk to you about, but I don't think you're feeling it. I mean, you know about it, but you're not feeling it, huh?
Well, I've always been kind of a behind the scenes guy.
Sure. Yeah. But even though you could still be behind the scenes, you know, it's just, I don't know, man. I think you should do it. I think I'm going to end on that. And then, you know, just, I want to so many of my friends, are talented at so many different things. You know, I have friends that are musicians.
Right.
I have friends that are people that race cars. I have friends that drag race. Matter of fact, my buddy Tyler Nix. We're trying to figure out a time to have him on. He has a drag race car, and it's called Dime Piece. So whoever's out there, YouTube Dime Piece, I'm sure that he has some videos out there, and it's Nix Racing. His Mustang 5.0, like I don't know if it's a Fox body, but it's like a early 90s, drag car. Once again, we get YouTube strikes if I bring videos up. So I don't know if I can bring it up, but now that I know I can use my computer,
right?
Maybe I'll learn about that. But look up Taylor Nix or Tyler Nix, sorry, and check out the Dime Piece drag car. It's beautiful. I mean, it's him popping wheelies, the rear end's coming up off the ground, and he's like basically going forward on his wheelie bars. I mean, it's wild. And then Landon, he's a Key Grip here in Atlanta. He has a couple race cars that he races Porsches at Atlanta Motor Speedway and whatever other track. So I'm going to have those guys in hopefully sometime. I know Tyler's going to come here. Landon, I'll try to get him on, talk racing, talk motors and stuff.
And one of the guys at Buy Bet, in fact, he's the president of the company, is Jack Stanford.
Okay.
He races at Road Atlanta.
Yeah? What does he race?
He's got a Mustang. It's an LS-powered Mustang. But
LS powered? Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's okay. Is he doing like, is it like track, or is it like, isn't there different classes?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Yeah, because Landon has he has multiple cars because he does multiple classes.
Right.
He races his car is a Porsche. He has I think 3 Porsches. One is a 911. I don't know if it's a 911. Sorry, Landon, I'm butchering this. I should know. I feel bad that I don't. I think the other 2 are 917s or 916s or something like that. I don't know my Porsches. I'm sorry, Landon. Jeez. But anyway, they're cool race cars. They're really cool race cars, and Landon, I know, gets a huge boost of energy doing it. And,
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember the class, because they're not streetable cars. They're not like licensed to drive. Tyler's, his Mustang is street legal, but you don't want that on the street.
Right.
Yeah. Check that out. I know that I'm going to talk to those guys soon. So, but hey, dude, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to wrap this up. And for all you that are out there enjoying the video, please let us know. Like, subscribe. I was told that I should say this, comment, and, we'll be in touch through the comments and all the other stuff, and look out for new videos that are going to be coming out, and check out the past videos. These are all things people are telling me that I'm supposed to do. My first couple videos were just like, all right, goodbye. And it's just like,
also ring the bell, right?
Oh yeah. The notification bell. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And do the notification bell. That way, when new episodes of the Bob Dodd Show come out. We're working on getting on Spotify, iTunes, and the other platforms. As of right now, it's just YouTube. But as soon as we get the RSS feed situated, and as soon as I learn about all that stuff, we'll be on other platforms as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
All right, dude. Appreciate it.